welcome to Storytime. My name is Miss Maureen, and let's get started by singing our hello song. When we sing hello, we will salute, and when we sing friends, we'll take our two fingers and have them give each other a hug. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Good job! This Sunday is Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is a day for sharing your love. So today we are talking about love. Love is such a big and beautiful emotion. And there are so many different kinds of love. Family love, friend love, pet love, self-love. It feels so good to receive love, but sometimes it feels even better to give love. This Valentine's Day, how are you going to show your love? With cards? With crafts? With words? With actions? There are infinite ways to express our love. Why don't we learn the sign for love using American Sign Language? What letter does love start with? Love. Yes, love starts with the letter L. L is for love. To sign the word love, we'll take both of our arms with our hands in a fist, and we'll cross them over our chest and pull them up into ourselves, kind of like we're giving our heart a little hug. Love. Love. And remember, an important part of American Sign Language is our facial expressions. So when you're signing love, try to show love on your face. Love. Good job! Let's also learn the sign to say, I love you. We've gone over this sign once before, but let's revisit it. It's a really important sign because it's just another way we can help express to those around us that we love them. So let's look at each word in the phrase, I love you. The first word, I, is just one letter. What letter is it? I. 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 And then we talked about love. Do you remember what letter love starts with? Yeah, L. And then you. What letter does you start with? This one's a little tricky. It sounds sort of like it might start with the letter U, but it starts with the letter Y. Y for you. Y. So let's put all of those letters together. I, L, and Y, and we get I love you. So you take your hand and just fold down the middle two fingers. I love you. Good job, friends! I have a lot of great books for us today, but before we go into our first book, let's sing our alphabet together. You can pad along at home, you can sing along with me, or you can sign along with me. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with favorite books about love. I think I read it every Valentine's Day. And the title is a little silly, but this book I think is a really lovely, and yes, silly, expression of a mother's love for her child. It's called I Love You, Stinky Face by McCourt. This book doesn't have the inside flap, but it does have a little bit about the book on the back. So let's look at this bit on the back to get an idea about what this book is about. As a mother lovingly tucks her child into bed, the imaginative child has a few questions. For instance, what if I were an alligator with big sharp teeth that could bite your head off? This unstoppably devoted mother will have readers laughing out loud as she replies to one question after another. Never was a parent's unconditional love so creatively tested or so beautifully reassured. I love you, Stinky Face. I love you, Stinky Face. I love you, my wonderful child, said Mama as she tucked me in. But I had a question. Mama, what if I were a big, scary ape? Would you still love me then? If you were a big, scary ape, I would comb your whole hairy self to make sure you didn't have any tangles. And I would make your birthday cake out of bananas, and I would tell you, I love you, my big, scary ape. But Mama, what if I were a super smelly skunk and I smelled so bad that my name was Stinky Face? Then I would give you a bath and sprinkle you with sweet-smelling powder. And if you still smelled bad, I wouldn't mind, and I would hug you tight and whisper in your ear, I love you, Stinky Face. But Mama, what if I were an alligator with big, sharp teeth that could bite your head off? Then I would buy you a bigger toothbrush for your big teeth and make sure that you brushed them every night so they'd stay healthy and strong. And if you had a sore throat, I would stick my head right inside your enormous jaws to make sure you were okay. And I would say, I love you, my ferocious alligator. But Mama, what if I were a terrible meat-eating dinosaur with razor-sharp claws that ripped my sheets to shreds every night while I slept? Then I would give you plenty of meat to eat, if that's what you liked. And I would sew your sheets back together every day, because, after all, ripping them would be an accident. And I would tuck you into your newly mended sheets every night and say, I love you, my sweet, terrible dinosaur. But Mama, what if I were a swamp creature with slimy, smelly seaweed hanging from my body, and I couldn't ever leave the swamp, or I would die? Then I would build a house right next to the swamp, and I would stay with you and take care of you always. And when you splashed to the surface, I would say, I love you, my slimy little swamp monster. But Mama, what if I were a green alien from Mars and I ate bugs instead of peanut butter? Then I would dress you in colors that showed off your nice green skin. And I would pack your lunchbox with beetles and spiders and ants and grasshoppers and the tastiest bugs you ever had. And I would pack a note with all the bugs that said, "I love you, little greenie. Bon appetit." But Mama, what if I were a cyclops and I had just one big, gigantic eye in the middle of my head? Then I would look right into your gigantic eye and say, "I love you, my little cyclops." And I would sing you a lullaby until your one gigantic eyelid got droopier and droopier, and it finally closed, and you fell fast asleep. I love you, Mama, and I love you, my wonderful child. The end. I have a rhyme for us about some hearts. But first, I need help getting those hearts onto the felt board. Maybe you guys can help me? Thank you. I need help figuring out what color each heart is. Let's see what our first color is. Ooh, big heart. Boom, boom, boom. What color is our first heart? It's a red heart. That might be the most common color we see. Red heart. We'll put our red heart up here on our red board. I wonder what other colors our hearts are going to be. What color is our second heart? It's a yellow heart. A bright and happy yellow heart. Put our yellow heart next to our red heart. Wow, these are some big hearts. We're starting to fill up our board. So much love on our board today. But we have even more. Ba-bum, ba-bum. What color is our third heart? Green. A green heart. We'll put our green heart down on the bottom here, underneath our red heart. These hearts are really filling up the board here, but I think we have some space for even more hearts. Ba-bum, ba-bum. What color is our fourth heart? A beautiful blue heart. We'll put our blue heart next to our green heart and under our yellow heart. Wow, look at all of our hearts. But we still have some space for more hearts right here in the middle. I think we have one more heart. Ba-bum, ba-bum. What color is our last heart, our fifth heart? It's a pink heart. A pretty little pink heart. We'll put our pink heart right in the middle, in between our red and yellow and our green and blue. Let's count how many hearts we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hearts. 5 big hearts, all in a row. The first one said, "I love you so." The second one said, "Will you be my Valentine?" The third one said, "If you'll be mine." The fourth one said, "I'll always be your friend." And the fifth one said, "We'll be friends to the end." Good job, friends. Let's move right along to our next book. This book is called A Hat for Mrs. Goldman, A Story About Knitting and Love by Michelle Edwards and G. Brian Carroll. Our first book showed a great example of a love a parent has for their child and how they can express that with words. This book shows the love we have for our friends and a different way of expressing it through our actions. Let's see what the inside flap tells us about this book. Sophia isn't very good at knitting. She drops stitches and makes holes where there shouldn't be holes. She'd much rather make big, beautiful pom-poms for the hats Mrs. Goldman knits everyone in their neighborhood. When winter comes, Sophia can't believe Mrs. Goldman doesn't have a hat for her own head. So Sophia decides to make her one. She wants it to be a surprise and the most special hat in the whole world. And click, 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 Sophia begins to knit. A Hat for Mrs. Goldman, a story about knitting and love. A Hat for Mrs. Goldman. When Sophia was a tiny baby, Mrs. Goldman next door knit her a tiny baby hat to keep her warm. Now Sophia is big, and she makes the pom-poms for Mrs. Goldman's hats. Hats for the tiniest babies, hats for small, medium, and large friends and neighbors. Mrs. Goldman taught her how. "Keeping keppies warm is our mitzvah," says Mrs. Goldman, kissing the top of Sophia's head. "This is your kepi, and a mitzvah is a good deed." Sophia and Mrs. Goldman bundle up to walk Mrs. Goldman's dog, Fifi. Winter is almost here. Fifi wears her dinosaur sweater. Sophia wears her fuzzy kitten hat and matching mittens. Mrs. Goldman made them all. An icy wind blows Mrs. Goldman's hair left and right. It turns her ears pink. "Where's your hat?" asks Sophia. "I gave it to Mrs. Chen," she explains. Mrs. Goldman's kepi must be cold, worries Sophia. At home, Sophia thinks and worries again. Worries and thinks. Mrs. Goldman needs a hat. Who will knit one for her? Not Mrs. Goldman. She's too busy knitting for everyone else. Last year, Mrs. Goldman taught Sophia how to knit. "I only like making pom-poms," decided Sophia after a few days. "Knitting is hard, and it takes too long." Now Sophia digs out the knitting bag Mrs. Goldman gave her, and the hat they started. The stitches are straight and even. The soft wool smells like Mrs. Goldman's chicken soup. Sophia holds the needles and tries to remember what to do. She drops one stitch. She drops another. Still, Sophia knits on. She wants to make Mrs. Goldman the most special hat in the world. The next day, when Sophia and Mrs. Goldman walk Fifi, tiny fluffs of snow fall on Mrs. Goldman's head. Her ears are bright red. Mrs. Goldman's kepi must be very cold, frets Sophia. Sophia knits after breakfast. She knits after lunch. She knits after dinner. She even knits while Mama reads her a bedtime story. But Sophia doesn't knit when she's at Mrs. Goldman's house. The hat is a surprise. All week, there's frost on the windows. One day, when they are walking Fifi, Mrs. Goldman wraps Mr. Goldman's scarf around her head like she's a mummy. A fierce wind unwraps it and flings it up high. Sophia jumps and grabs an end of the scarf. Fifi nips at the other end. Mrs. Goldman's kepi must be freezing, shivers Sophia. Sophia knits and knits and knits, faster and faster and faster, stitch by stitch, row by row. Then Sophia sews. At last, Mrs. Goldman's hat is done. Sort of. The hat is lumpy and bumpy. There are holes where there shouldn't be holes. It looks like a monster hat, thinks Sophia. Sophia turns the hat over and around, inside out. Mrs. Goldman's hat should not be a monster hat that will scare Fifi. Sophia opens the box of hats Mrs. Goldman made her. Each one is special, but they are all too small for Sophia now, and way too small for Mrs. Goldman. Sophia looks in the hall closet. There are hats Mrs. Goldman made for Mama and Papa. She can't give her their hats. There is a scratchy old hat Sophia's abuela wore back in Mexico. Worse than Mr. Goldman's scarf. Sophia thinks about Mrs. Goldman and the hats they make together. Your pom-poms add beauty, Mrs. Goldman always tells her. And that's a mitzvah too. Sophia feels her heart grow bigger and lighter, like a balloon. She searches her room for red yarn. Red is Mrs. Goldman's favorite color. She gathers her scissors, her sewing needle, and her stack of index cards. Sophia gets busy. Very busy. When Sophia is done, Mrs. Goldman's hat is the most special hat in the whole world. Sophia rushes next door. Surprise! For me? Asks Mrs. Goldman. For you, answers Sophia. It's a hat, she says. Of course it is, exclaims Mrs. Goldman, and she hugs Sophia, and then she cries. What's wrong? Asks Sophia. Don't you like it? More than like it. I love it, declares Mrs. Goldman. Gorgeous, like Mr. Goldman's rose bushes, and you know how I love his roses. Mrs. Goldman kisses Sophia on top of her kepi. I made it all by myself, Sophia tells her. Amazing. And will you look at all these pom-poms? 1, 2, 3, 4, counts Mrs. Goldman. Sophia joins in. There are 20 pom-poms on Mrs. Goldman's hat, each one made with love. She gently puts her hat on. The next day, Sophia and Mrs. Goldman walk Fifi. Fifi wears her dinosaur sweater. Sophia wears her fuzzy kitten hat and matching mittens. And Mrs. Goldman wears her Sophia hat. Her kepi is toasty warm, and that's a mitzvah. The end. And here at the back there are some directions for how to make the Sophia hat if you want to knit a hat of your own. For our next song, we're going to make a heart with our hands. But that can be a little tricky. So first, I have a rhyme to help us make a heart shape with our hands. I put my hands together. This is how I start. Then I curl my fingers down, and now I have a heart. Good job, friends. Let's do that one more time. I put my hands together. This is how I start. I curl my fingers down, and now I have a heart. We're going to use our heart shape for this next song. This song is called H-E-A-R-T. That spells heart. And we're going to sing it to the tune of B-I-N-G-O, or bingo. I know a shape and it means love, and heart is its name, oh. H-E-A-R-T, 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 and heart is its name, oh. Good job! Let's sing it again, but let's take away the H. And instead of singing H, where the H should be, we will clap. So it will be E-A-R-T. Let's try it. We'll go slowly. I know a shape and it means love, and heart is its name, oh. E-A-R-T, 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 and heart is its name, oh. Good job! Let's make it a little trickier. We've already taken away the H. Let's also take away the E. So we'll go A-R-T. I know a shape and it means love, and heart is its name, oh. A-R-T, 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 and heart is its name, oh. Good job! But let's make it even trickier. We took away the H, we took away the E, now we're going to take away the A. So we'll clap 3 times. R-T. I know a shape and it means love, and heart is its name, oh. R-T, 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 and heart is its name, oh. Good job! Can you guess what we're going to do next? Let's take away the R. So now we're clapping 4 times. T. And we're just saying the T. Let's try it. I know a shape and it means love, and heart is its name, oh. T. T. T, and heart is its name, oh. Good job, guys! Now can we take away the T? No more letters! So we're just gonna clap and not sing any letters. know a shape and it means love, and heart is its name, oh. And heart is its name, oh. Good job, friends! We're gonna sing it one more time, and this time we're bringing back all the letters. There is a shape and it means love, and heart is its name, oh. H-E-A-R-T, 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 and heart is its name, oh. Good job, friends! Our next book is called I'll Love You Forever by Owen Hart. And this book is another example of a parent and a child, but it's also just about how some loves are so deep and so strong that they never end. No matter what tests them, no matter how long they last, these loves are forever. Let's read the inside flap. Polar bear and cub explore the beauty of their home in the Arctic as the seasons change. Throughout the journey, Polar Bear reassures Cub that no matter what changes occur in nature, snow falling in winter, flowers blooming in spring, air warming in summer, and leaves changing color in fall, the love bond between them will never be broken. I'll love you forever. I'll love you forever. I'll love you forever. I'll always be near to share in the laughter of each passing year. Those seasons may turn, bringing sights new and strange. My love is the one thing that won't ever change. On crisp winter days, over icebergs we'll go. We'll tumble and leap through fluffy white snow. Come look at this snowflake, and I will explain. In spring it will melt, but my love will remain. We'll both gaze in wonder when the new buds peek through. As each flower blossoms, I'll share it with you. As the days become warmer, we'll fill them with fun. A splash in the sea, then a snooze in the sun. At the end of each day, I will kiss you goodnight. I never grow tired of holding you tight. And when the birds tell us that summer has come, we'll play in the grass while the bees gently hum. The leaves will turn golden as fall comes along. The flowers may fade, but my love will stay strong. When cold winter winds blow the leaves far and wide, you'll cross the great icebergs with me by your side. But for now, cuddle close while the stars softly shine. I'll always be yours, and you'll always be mine. Through the change of the seasons and each passing year, I'll love you forever and ever, my dear. The end. I have another song for us, and for this one, we're going to be doing some some hand movements while we sing. Maybe you know this song. It's called Skinnamarink, and it's a song about love. Let's go through it slowly once as we learn the hand movements. So we're going to start with one of our arms across our body and the other one resting on it. We're going to wiggle this arm around. Skinnamarink-a-dink-a-dink. Now switch. Skinnamarink-a-doo. I love you. Skinnamarink-a-dink-a-dink. Skinnamarink-a-doo. I love you. Now we'll put our arms above our heads. I love you in the morning. Now down at your waist. And in the afternoon. Now all the way down. I love you in the evening. And underneath the moon. Oh, Skinnamarink-a-dink-a-dink. Skinnamarink-a-doo. I love you. Good job. Let's sing it together one more time. So remember, start with our arms like this. Skinnamarink-a-dink-a-dink. Skinnamarink-a-doo. I love you. Skinnamarink-a-dink-a-dink. Skinnamarink-a-doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. Oh, Skinnamarink-a-dink-a-dink. Skinnamarink-a-doo. I love you. Good job! That one's silly, but it's also sweet. I have one more book for us. This one I actually got in the mail today, and when I read it, I just thought it was so nice, and it had a lot of really good sentiments in it about love, what it means to love yourself, and what it means to love others. This book is called Zen Pig, 7 Rules of Valentine's Day by Mark Brown. Again, this book doesn't have an inside flap, but it does have a little bit on the back to help us get an idea of what the book is about. It says, Zen Pig returns in Book 8 to share the 7 rules of Valentine's Day that make any heart swell. Zen Pig, the 7 rules of Valentine's Day. Zen Pig, the 7 rules of Valentine's Day. Spread the love with #ZenPig. Dedicated to all fellow light bearers. Now more than ever, the world needs your unique good. Stay relentlessly positive. Bright and early, Zen Pig awoke, as he did this day each year. Valentine's Day was here again, and it was time to spread some cheer. With joy, Zen Pig put on his best, grabbed his things, and was on his way. Headed to town to spread his love on this very special day. 2 sad bears on his route made Zen Pig come to a stop. He asked them, "What's the matter? What's made your faces drop?" "Nobody loves us," the pair did sadly say. "We've not a single Valentine after here waiting all day." "Come with me," Zen Pig began. "There are many who feel the same, but they just don't know the 7 rules of the Valentine's Day game." Rule number 1. Rule number 1, Zen Pig started, is simple yet often forgotten. The score is kept by how much love you give, never by how much is gotten. Rule number 2. Rule number 2 might be easiest of them all. Thinking of love as just cards and kisses is to see love much too small. Rule number 3. The next one to remember is that love is not spoken, but shown. Through our actions and behavior is how our feelings are known. Rule number 4. Even with 3 rules down, you may be asking where to begin. Rule 4 is to show love to yourself. Love must always start from within. Rule number 5. To honor love and its power, you'll find is rule number 5. It heals, transforms, and nurtures. It is the only way to thrive. Rule number 6. There is no life without love. That's rule number 6. Happiness and a hollow heart simply do not mix. Rule number 7. Lastly, learn to accept, not to reject, the gift of love. Many do not feel worthy of it, but it's something we're all deserving of. Just then, they turned the corner and found themselves back at the start. Their once empty bags were now overflowing, now that the lessons were in their heart. Namaste. The light in me loves the light in you. Zen Pig's 7 Valentine's Day rules. 1. Count how much love you give, not how much you receive. 2. Love means more than hugs and kisses. Kindness, acknowledgement, and gratitude are all forms of love. 3. Love is not spoken, love is shown. 4. Love must always start within ourselves. 5. Everyone needs love to grow. 6. Love must be a priority to have a happy life. 7. Learning to accept love is a skill that we must learn. The end. Well, friends, that's it for story time today. I had a great time. I hope that you did too. If you're interested in our other story times, our archived videos, or any other upcoming events, you can visit our website where everything is listed. Just a reminder that on Tuesday, the 16th at 6 p.m., we are hosting a Zoom call with the author Ryan T. Higgins, the author of the Bruce books, and We Do Not Eat Our Classmates. He is going to read us a story, and he's also going to guide us in a drawing exercise. So it's going to be lots of fun, something you can do from the comfort in your own home, in your PJs, a nice little treat to add on to your bedtime routine. If you're interested in that at all, you can always call us or email us for information, but you can also go to our website to find the link to register. It's going to be lots of fun, so I highly suggest that you register and come and enjoy a story and some drawing tips. I have a craft for us to do after this, but first let's sing our goodbye song. We are going to wave and we're going to clap. We wave goodbye like this, we wave goodbye like this, we clap our hands for all our friends and wave goodbye like this. Bye, friends. Today we're making marbled hearts. For this craft, you'll need a piece of paper, white or light colored paper, 1, 2, or 3 different colors of paint. I picked different reds and pinks, but you can really pick whatever color you'd like. You'll need a jar. So if you have a mason jar, that works, but you can also use an old peanut butter jar or an old maybe spaghetti sauce jar. The glass will be louder than if you have a plastic one, but anything
along those lines will do. You'll need something like marbles. If you don't have marbles, you can use dried beans or hard candy, just something solid and small, but not minuscule. Finally, you'll need a pencil and some scissors. The first thing we want to do is cut our paper in half. Then we want to put our paper inside of our jar so that it's wrapped around the edge there. Then inside of our jar, we want a couple drops of each of the colors that you've chosen. Go ahead and drop your marbles or whatever you're using into the jar. And we're gonna put the lid on. Now that I've got the paint in there and the marbles in there and paper in there and the lid nice and secure on the top, I'm going to shake it up and roll it around and make some noise. Okay, so mine's all done. It's pretty covered in paint. It doesn't even really look marbled. I think I might have used a little bit too much paint, but it's still gonna look really cool. I'm gonna take it out of the jar and put it somewhere safe to dry. It's got quite a bit of paint there on the bottom, so when you're doing this at home, make sure you put it on something like newspaper or paper towels or something that's easily washed. But anyway, this is my sheet, very painted. So maybe when you try, you want to maybe do a little less paint than I did to get more of this white space. And we're just gonna let this dry. We want it to be totally dry for our next step. Okay, so this one is a little more what I was looking for. I did this one with the leftover paint in the jar, and I added a little bit extra red and peach. So maybe still a little too much paint, but this is more what I was looking for, with lines of paint, but also white space. Now that these are dry, we want to trace some hearts on the back side of the papers and cut them out. Now that all of your hearts are cut out, you can maybe give each of them to someone that you care about as a Valentine to show them that you love them. Or maybe you want to glue some of them onto a bigger card or a collage and give that to somebody. Whatever you do, just get creative and have fun. Thanks, guys.